Good evening, I'm Trinh Lee and welcome to FBNC News, bringing you the latest updates from Vietnam. Today's newscast covers a wide range of topics that matter most to you. And here are the headlines. Vietnam concerns about the recent developments in EC. Ho Chi Minh City facing hurdles to meet yearly growth target. Queensland, Australia to welcome 30,000 Vietnamese tourists per year with direct flights from Ho Chi Minh City to Brisbane. Trillions of Vietnam đồng expected to move into property market. Đắk Lắk gun attacks, over 100 cases of misinformation dissemination detected. Exhibitions held to honor UNESCO-RECOGNIZED Huế heritages. Let's begin with our first news. Ambassador Đặng Hoàng Giang, permanent representative of Vietnam to the United Nations, has recently expressed concern that recent developments in the EC could affect peace, security, and development. Addressing the 33rd meeting of states parties to the 1982 United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, which took place in New York from June 12 to 16, Giang affirmed that over the past 4 decades, the UNCLOS, referred to as the Constitution for the Oceans, has provided a legal framework regulating all activities at sea. The Convention and its implementation agreements have laid a foundation for cooperation and actions by nations, regions, and the global community in maritime affairs. The ambassador highlighted Vietnam's efforts in implementing the UNCLOS, including the National Strategy on Climate Change until 2050. As one of the founding members of the UNCLOS group of friends, Vietnam reaffirms its commitment to the Convention and the preservation of its universality, integrity, and full implementation. Reiterating Vietnam's stance on the settlement of disputes by peaceful means in line with international law, especially the UNCLOS, he affirmed that respecting the sovereignty, sovereign rights, and jurisdiction of coastal states over their territorial waters established by the Convention is a prerequisite for maintaining and ensuring peace, security, and prosperity in the East Sea. On this occasion, head of the Vietnamese delegation called on all relevant countries to exercise restraint and refrain from engaging in activities that could complicate the situation or escalate tensions. Ho Chi Minh City is facing challenges to realize its yearly growth target of 7.5% as the rates recorded in the first and second quarters failed to meet expectations. In the first 3 months of this year, the growth of the country's biggest economic locomotive dropped significantly, even below expectations of experts. According to the District Office, in the second quarter, its gross regional domestic product grew some 5.87%, higher than the 0.15% recorded in the same period last year, raising the city's 6-month GRDP growth to 3.55%, which was, however, still lower than the 3.82% of the corresponding time in 2022. Local exporters, including those in the leather footwear sector, are encountering a host of challenges, including a severe lack of orders, declining domestic consumption, resulting in the increasing number of enterprises withdrawing from the market. In the first 5 months of this year, more than 18,000 businesses quit the market in Ho Chi Minh City, a gloomy sign for the local economic development. Now, on June 16, Vietjet Air officially announced the launch of direct flights between Ho Chi Minh City and Brisbane, a city located in the state of Queensland, Australia. This direct route is expected to create favorable conditions for both trade and tourism development between Vietnam and Queensland. The establishment of these flights is part of a $200 million Australian sponsorship package from the Queensland state government, aimed at supporting the expansion of direct international routes to the state. As the most connected domestic hub in Australia, passengers traveling to Brisbane from Vietnam will be able to transfer to 53 destinations nationwide, including 30 destinations within Queensland.
Last Saturday, we had the Prime Minister of Australia visit to Vietnam, and this is a very special occasion for us. And we are proud to announce our direct flight services to Brisbane starting from 16th of June. So this services is a great remark connecting Vietnam to Brisbane. VietJet is the first airline to offer the direct connectivity to Brisbane, and this services also gives a very good support for increasing the tourism, bilateral, and also the trade between Vietnam and Australia.
Cái đường bay thẳng mở trực tiếp giữa Việt Nam đến Queensland là một cái sự kiện rất là đáng chú ý và rất là nổi bật, bởi thứ nhất là nó không chỉ giúp về cho giao thương và đầu tư tăng trưởng mà còn giúp thêm nhiều về quảng bá về du lịch, văn hóa giữa hai bên. Thì riêng về thương mại và đầu tư thì đường bay thẳng nó giúp ích rất là nhiều, thế là giúp cho doanh nghiệp của hai bên thứ nhất là họ có một cái cơ hội để di chuyển đến thăm đối tác, để tìm hiểu thị trường một cách thường xuyên, đặc biệt là với cái đường bay giá rẻ thì giúp họ có thể bay thường xuyên hơn, tiết kiệm được thời gian với chi phí hợp lý.
According to the Trade and Investment Queensland office in Vietnam, bilateral trade between Vietnam and Queensland has increased sixfold since 2016. In 2022 alone, the total bilateral trade exceeded $8 billion, placing Vietnam among the top 5 economic partners of Queensland. Recent interest cuts by the State Bank of Vietnam could send trillions of Vietnam đồng in savings into the property market, according to the Vietnam Association of Realtors, or VARs. This could send investors hunting for good deals in the property market, despite the tightening of monetary policies by the central bank and recent downturns in the market. The flow of capital could give a lifeline to the market, as well as dozens of industries, including construction, materials, machinery, equipment, furniture, and labor that are traditionally dependent on property sales. There have been signals from the governments that starting from the second quarters of 2023, additional policy will take place to provide additional money to the market. In the meantime, local authorities have been told to step up efforts in resolving legal bottlenecks to allow property projects to take off. This time around, according to the association, developers have taken steps to address the market's demand. Factors that favor the market's recovery include reduced interest rates, a move by commercial banks that have allowed developers access to much-needed capital injections, and where to start new projects or to finish ongoing ones. According to the association, the tightening of monetary policy by the central bank and the government have shown signs of slowing down and could start opening up as soon as the second quarter of this year. Capital inflow could also be expected by the third quarter. Police in the Central Highlands province of Đắk Lắk said they have detected and handled more than 100 cases of disseminating negative and toxic information about the recent armed attacks on the headquarters of the two communal administrations in Kênh district since June 12. Early on June 11, a group of persons armed with guns and knives attacked the headquarters of the People's Committees of Ia Thieu and Ia Cơ communes, including the offices of communal police in Kênh district, killing and injuring some police officers, communal officials, and civilians. Following the incident, many shared relevant information from Facebook and TikTok personnel accounts with the aim of increasing interactions on social networks. Local police have advised people to verify information on social networks, especially that sourced from anti-state pages, stressing those who disseminate unverified false information will be handled in line with legal regulations and even face criminal charges if their acts cause serious consequences. Also on June 15, Major General Lê Vĩnh Quý, Director of the Đắk Lắk Provincial Police, called on all officers and soldiers to continue concertedly and drastically implementing measures to arrest the individuals involved in the case. He also urged stepping up the communications work to raise public awareness of plots of hostile forces. Exhibitions have been held this weekend to honor the UNESCO-RECOGNIZED complex of Huế monuments and nhạc or Vietnamese royal court music. These events took place in Thừa Thiên Huế province to mark the 30th anniversary of the complex of Huế monuments and the 20th anniversary of nhạc being registered as a World Cultural Heritage by UNESCO. Among them is Giang Sơn Việt Nam trên cửu đỉnh or Vietnam on the Nine Dynastic Urns exhibition at the Huế Royal Antiques Museum on June 16th. The nine dynastic urns are made of bronze, represent the state's controlling power. On the same day, the Fine Arts and Heritage Exhibition Di sản diễn xướng cung đình và cảm hứng hội họa, The Legacy of Royal Performance and Painting Inspiration, debuted at Thiệu Phương Garden. Kinh Thiệu Trị previously named this royal park as the second most beautiful landscape in Huế. The exhibition Thần Kinh Nhị Thập Cảnh was opened at Royal Library in the Huế Citadel on June 17, displaying the poems of Kinh Thiệu Trị written in traditional Taiwanese calligraphy. Thần Kinh Nhị Thập Cảnh in particular is a collection of poetry extolling 20 landscapes of the ancient Huế Citadel. Putting on exhibitions is one way of showcasing Thừa Thiên Huế province as a place with traditional cultural values, stunning natural landscapes, and welcoming people. Those activities also targeted international exchanges and collaboration in promoting countries' cultural heritage values. And that concludes tonight's newscast. We hope you found our coverage insightful and informative. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you again next time. Goodbye and take care.